Right, here we are. We have the amazing Sean in one of his technicolored shirts with us today. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. If you are watching this, then please let us know in the chat whereabout in the UK you are watching us from. I always love to see where everybody is. But we've actually got the amazing guest here of Sean Porter here today. And he is one of those really super people that, you know what, when he finds an idea, when he finds a way to do something, he doesn't just think about it or talk about it or cogitate or whatever. He actually just gets it done. And you know what? That in itself is a remarkable skill. Sean, thank you so much for being here with us today.
My pleasure. Really nice to be here, Sally.
I know he loves to go live everywhere. Usually he's dancing around in his garden, he's having a drink, he's doing something crazy. So it's a bit weird seeing you actually sitting on a chair.
You're lucky you've caught me in the office on a Friday afternoon, to be honest. This is overtime.
I can say you're usually in the beer garden by now. All right. So, Sean, tell me a little bit about you. You're a letting agent. The reason you're here is we want to talk about your success because you've been doing this a long, long time. In fact, longer than I have. And in the last 6 months, you've managed to really add a lot of revenue and profit and just really make changes to your business that has really just sort of really got it pushing forward, which is really difficult to do for an established business. So who are you? Where are you from? How long have you been doing this?
So I've been in the industry for 37 years, it's a long time, actually. I started out working for an independent. They got bought out by a corporate. So this is going back into the 90s when insurance companies, banks and lenders were buying out estate agents willy-nilly just for the financial services. It was quite clear after a year or two, I was not cut out for the corporate world. I had to wear a polyester suit. And that's, as you can see, it's really not me. I like to be a little bit more of an individual as such. So I started up a couple of agencies. We sold a business and about 20 years ago, started this business. And so there was a lot of hunger there, a lot of fire, actually. I love starting businesses, chatting to people. It started off with just me, basically, just me on my own. And it was fun. It was hard work, but I like hard work. But then after a while, sort of after you've been doing it a while, and I have a small team around me, but the business was me. So I was the lettings manager. I was the social media manager. I was the lettings valuer. I was the inspector. If someone needed a light bulb changing, that was Sean as well. So the business was Sean. Anything that needed to happen was Sean. I didn't really get weekends off. My phone would ring late at night. If a tenant locked themselves out at 10 p.m., I'd probably be in bed and I'd wake up my wife and say, I'm sorry, I need to go into the office and let a tenant in. I started to lose my passion for the industry, to be honest. It was turning over. It was providing an income. That was fantastic. But that passion, the spark you have when you first start an agency, that had gone. Wasn't really taking any risks as such. It was just plodding along. What action was I taking? Wasn't taking any action to actually do anything more. So it was
like a lot of people in that situation. I speak to so many people that are in that situation, like you've just described there. They're doing everything. And I don't know if it's just a letting agency thing, because not very often you go into a restaurant and find the chef doing the washing up, the cleaning, the cooking, the waitress in there, but maybe they do. I don't know. But it seems quite unique to our industry that we do everything. And maybe it's because we can do everything. I don't know if that's actually a disabled thing in itself, that because I can, I will, and therefore I must. And then we get trapped in this having to do everything cycle. And then you say you didn't take any action, but you were taking a lot of action, but you actually weren't having any time or headspace or thoughts to even be Sean, never mind think about how can I grow the business and make that change. So I think we actually trap ourselves in many cases. Does that sound familiar to you? Because it's something that I hear a lot.
Yeah, I think naturally salespeople are people pleasers. We like to say yes to people. So Sean, can you do this? Sean, can you do that? Of course you can. Of course I can do that. Was it actually making us any money? No, it wasn't. So when you look at what it actually cost to pay me and maybe pay a staff member, and we were doing all of these extra jobs, it was probably costing me money, to be honest. But because I'm a people pleaser, I like to be positive, like to be happy with everyone. I'd say yes to these jobs. But it was my time. It was my time that was being taken up. And obviously, we all like to have outside interests. I've got a young family, like to see them. Like to get out and about. I coach rugby. I'd like to do that more, etc. So I was thinking, what can happen? What can change? What needs to change in order to get Sean not being the centre of this universe of this estate agency?
Amazing. So, this Zoom here is about talking about your transformation. What was the first steps you took to finding out I think the first thing is finding out what you can do, isn't it? So I know you came along on boot camp and you looked at a few things. When you looked down on your business, what did you feel was the key thing that you need to change? Was it getting you out of a business? Was that a key thing? Was it hiring staff? Was it additional services? Was it doing something different? Was it a complete rewrite, or was it just a tweak? What is it that you thought was the key thing that you needed to do first?
I think several things there, Sally. So having been doing this 20 years, I was stuck in my ways. I'd not been on a training course for probably 20 years. And when you think the amount of new laws and legalization that's out there, that's bad, actually. So boot camp was an eye-opener, actually. Good to be amongst peers in many ways. So my end objective is to spend less time in the business. I want people to run it for me. I want to spend more time with my family. So I had to look at how can I do that? So one, we have to generate more income, because for me to step aside, I need to have more staff. So we looked at what we could do. We looked at generating more business. We looked at your very famous funnels, and how we could generate more business. And that's worked fantastically. We have 500 landlord leads sitting in a funnel, just waiting for us to go through them. And that's in 6 weeks. Wow. So that was very good. And we looked at those things that we were doing for 3, and thought, yes, we can still do those things. But I think you go to a solicitor or you go to an accountant and you say, hello, Mr. Solicitor, can I have this as an extra thing according to my conveyance or my will or a contract? And of course, they'll do that extra for you. But it's going to cost you an extra amount. It's an extra hour. It's an extra 2 hours of my time. Solicitor's going to charge £200 an hour, and you readily agree to it. If your accountant says the same thing, you readily agree to it. So we rewrote our terms and conditions. So we still offer this fantastic service, but we have a VIP service. So those people that want to speak to Sean, because a lot of people do want to speak to the business owner, they're now in our VIP service. So we will still do those.
For you, they have to be in the VIP. That is amazing.
Absolutely.
You've awesome, isn't it?
Still, haven't you? So no, you have a VIP layer, and so you still do those jobs, but none of those jobs are part of a service, and that works much better.
Really? So you've taken out a lot of the stuff that you were doing for free. I know you were describing me before that you said, whatever a landlord wanted us to do, we'd just do it. Anything. That's what we did. And I know a lot of people pride themselves in that. Oh, yes, we always keep our landlords happy. But as you say, solicitors and accountants, they won't do that. How have you found making that change? Because really, it's just been a good business, isn't it? How has that been with staff? How have the staff dealt with that? Were they okay?
We sat down with the staff because we were a small team. And we did pride ourselves on doing these things for free. It's an odd mentality when you look at this as a business model and as a business owner, rather than just looking at it as an estate agent. You look at it as a business owner. It's a very odd mentality. So sat down with the staff and we had a couple of meetings. I explained what had happened at boot camp. They were a little put off about bending the arrow on your chin and your neck, but that works out very well.
All optional, by the way, guys. All optional, but everyone does it. No. Well, let me just have one go. That's great.
So I wanted to include them in the success. We call ourselves a family firm. So it came up to review time. So I said, look, if you come with me on this journey, your review this year will be better than it was last year, and hopefully better than you're expecting, because I want you to be part of the journey that we go forward with. So if you're taking on more work, more responsibility, and you're changing your thought process, then you're going to be rewarded. And people want to be rewarded. They want to know that their efforts are noticed. They want feedback, they want communication. So we've always had good lines of communication, but the reward at the review time was very much appreciated. So all of the staff are on board. So when I say Sean's going to take time off to go to do some rugby coaching, they think, go and enjoy yourself. We can run the office.
And do you know what? Something that is absolutely amazing. And it reminds me of something that I've heard a lot of people say as well, that they feel guilty taking time out. Do you feel guilty, or are you okay with that? Are you cool with that now?
I used to feel so guilty. I used to work stupid hours. I'd be in the office at 6:30. I'd leave at 10 o'clock. And when you consider I've got teenagers at home, I'd never see them.
Crazy,
it is. And if the phone rang, I'd answer the phone, regardless of the time. And I felt guilty if I missed a call. I'd then phone that person back. Now we have systems in place. So if someone phones out of hours, it can be answered, but it won't be answered by Sean. It'll be answered by a service. If I want to take time off, I do enough work in my hours now that I can take the time off, and the systems in place, the staff in place to cover me. So I've dropped 2 days a week. That would never have happened before.
That's amazing. So you're working, come on, Sally, 7 minus 4 is 3. You're working 3 days a week.
Yeah, basically.
That's phenomenal. That's really awesome. Now, the big headline here on this story is that you've added 160K revenue, but actually the real headline of this story is how fast you did that. You basically looked at this business, you broke it down, you put it back together again, you started putting things as they should be as a business, charging for things right and doing the things you should be, stopping doing the things you shouldn't be doing, seeing what you're liable for, all that sort of stuff, made all those changes. Got in, spill the beans. How quick did you get from the first phase? I think you added an extra 80 and then you end up at 160. How quick did you do that? Because you've done this in, I'm not sure if it is the record winner, but I think it either is or it's very close to record speed. So I'm going to find out if you are a record winner, because I think you possibly are or almost are. So I'm going to find out for Agent Maker Live. So
we worked hard, and in 6 weeks, we were up to 160,000 increased revenue.
I've put 6 months on there. I'm going to change that. Added 100.
I could have had more time off, Sally.
I know, 120K in 6 weeks. Why have I put 6 months? That's amazing. 120K in 6 months. That is absolutely
160 6 weeks.
In 6 weeks. Oh Jesus! I've done it again. You know, I'm going to do it again. Added. Don't let Sally do admin. It never works. It's always a disaster. Added 160K in 6 weeks. My God, I am going to add that. I'm going to find out if that is actually a record. I think that's got to be a record. 160K in 6 weeks. That is absolutely fun. I was slightly guessing it. I thought, oh, is it 6 weeks, 6 months? I couldn't remember. But 6 weeks, that is absolutely amazing. Now, how does that feel to add that? Because what's that in revenue? About 12K a month? So you've added about 12K a month. I mean, some people say, yeah, but have they had the money in? No, of course you haven't had 160K in yet, but you have that extra 12K a month in. How soon did that extra 12K or whatever it works out at per month start coming in?
We noticed the first money coming in after 4 to 5 weeks, because the systems we put in place enabled us to really the next month to see an increase in revenue by putting these extra services in place and having the extra landlords in place. So within 4 to 5 weeks, we started to see not the whole 12K, but we maybe started seeing an extra couple of thousand. I looked at the returns, thought, yeah, that's made a difference, because you tend to keep quite a close eye on your monthly income. And so month 1, I saw a little bit. Month 2, month 3, that's when the money started to come in. And you just think, wow, this is fantastic. Because you can sit down, and I think all estate agents, there's a little bit of hype in there sometimes. That's what we do. And you can look at this and think, yeah, have I hyped myself up? And then you think, no, because the money is sitting in your bank account. It is actually sitting in your bank account. And that was proof in the pudding. So within 2 to 3 months, we saw money coming in to qualify this 160,000.
That's phenomenal. And has it changed things? I mean, obviously you're getting out of the business now. The staff have obviously had their pay rises. So there's two massive changes there. But the real change, I think, and we've had this sort of thing happen many, many times, not as fast as you. We've had so many people add so much revenue to their business, but they all talk about how they feel differently. And we've heard things like, I feel proud. I feel more like a businessman. I feel more in control. I feel safe. I feel like now I can take on the world. I feel like I've just begun and I'm never going to stop. I feel like I've only just started. There's so much more. How do you feel? What's your overarching feeling now? Because you're only literally a couple of months in. How did you feel?
Yeah, I've got my passion back. So I'm passionate about what I do. And I was bored and I'd lost that passion for the industry. I've now got the passion back because I've given myself a new career. Again, through Agent Rainmaker, we talk about videos, we talk about social media. I love that side. That's the side I really like. So now, after speaking to you guys, I've got my own YouTube channel. We put a video out there each week. I was just walking across Chelsea Bridge the other day. I actually had a hospital appointment. I was walking across Chelsea Bridge, so I did a quick Instagram post. It took 30 or 40 seconds. I love it. That's what I really love. And I was wandering across the bridge thinking, this is what I want to do. This is building the business because we're getting clients in from these posts, but it's really what I want to do. I've got this passion, I've got this fire, and I loved it. It's what I want to do now. So that the staff are doing the daily things that I used to do every single day between sort of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. probably. I'm now the social media manager. I feel like I'm the maitre d' of my estate agency now. So when someone new comes in, I'm the meter and the greeter. I'm the person that can take all the plaudits in. I can take the positive energy in. So my energy levels have gone up tremendously.
So I actually think you are the queen of naming things, and the maitre d' of your business is just absolutely perfect. And I can just imagine you as that, just making sure everybody's okay, everybody's cool, the video's out, the marketing's done. Right, I'm off down to go watch some rugby. I can just see it. It's just perfect. Guys, if you're watching this, you've got to come and see Sean at Agent Rainmaker Live. He's going to be sharing the full story, exactly what he did, how he did it, the mechanisms he took to get this extra 160K. And by then, probably even more. Who knows? We don't know. He's still making changes, building funnels. He's got leads coming in everywhere. So it may even be more than that by then, which it probably will be. But if you want to come and see Sean, hear his full story, and other agents too, they've been adding 100K, 200K, 300K, all that sort of different thing, then you need to come along to something called Agent Rainmaker Live. All right. It's absolutely amazing. It's a 2-day conference on the 9th and 10th of November. It's going to be in Heathrow at the Marriott Hotel. It's our 5th year of running Agent Rainmaker Live. It's always a bit of a feast. There's music. Have you ever been before, Sean?
No, this is my first time, actually.
And you're on stage.
I know.
Now that is a record. All right, so there's going to be like lights and music, and there's going to be speakers from all over the world. Loads of really successful agents have achieved amazing things. We've got over 300 letting agents going to be coming, sharing and talking and helping and serving. We've got masterminds, so you can ask questions and ask the speakers. Sean will be hosting one of the tables. Didn't tell you that bit, did I, Sean? Also,
that's new, Sally, but
don't worry. We've also got an amazing party on the Friday night as well, with an award ceremony and a celebrity comedian and a singer, and also it's just phenomenal. So go and check it out, agentrainmaker.live. Go and grab a ticket. Bring your team along as well. They're all part of it. And they're the ones going to be implementing. So don't just come on your own. Bring them as well. Going to be absolutely amazing. So Sean, I know you're going to be having your wife there, I think, and I think you've got one of your team members coming along too.
I wanted to bring team members along because it's all very well and good me coming back, and I'm quite enthusiastic. I can really sell what we've done and they can take it on board. But I've heard from people that have been to Rainmaker Live about the energy and the passion in the room. I think there's 2 guys that were standing at the back and they're a little bit doubtful about, should we be here, should we not? Then after sort of a couple of hours, they're joining in with the fist pumps, and the energy seems fantastic. I like a little bit of energy. It's what makes us as estate agents, make us salespeople. So yes, bring in some members of the team along so they can appreciate the energy. And I'm bringing my wife along so she can see what I do, I suppose, because she sends me off to work and says, I'll see you later. But it's good. We're a family business. She's a director of the company as well. So yeah, she will be in the audience. There's a couple of one-line punchlines directed towards my wife as well. She doesn't know that either. So there'll be a few surprises in the audience, shall we say.
Oh, that is amazing. Yeah, it is a real feast. We've also got one of the top webinar experts in the UK going to be speaking, because I know webinars are a hot thing now. Absolutely. In the letting agency world. So we have brought the best in the UK. In fact, he's one of the best well-known in the world, but I won't say in the world best ever, but he is absolutely phenomenal. And we've also got an amazing guy who's acquired over 450 businesses in his time, who's going to be on stage talking about acquiring other businesses, portfolios, etc., without using any of your own cash. So he is definitely one I'm going to be taking notes from. So that's going to be awesome. And we have a phenomenal futuristic speaker talking about AI and the future of business, who actually works with Coca-Cola and big brands like that, who's going to be sharing what he thinks is what we're all looking at in the future with AI. So we're going to have such a feast. But coming back to you, Sean, so what next? What's happening now? What does Sean do now with his 4 days a week? You got some holidays planned? Is life changed, or are you just going to?
So
what's the plan?
Holidays to Mrs. Porter. She now informs me we have 5 holidays booked for next year. We have going on a delightful cruise in January, which sounds very nice, and another 4 holidays. So again, I would have felt really guilty about taking time off. But I look at my diary now, and my diary is what I put in it. So the staff filled their diaries with their appointments and what they need to do, and it runs the business very well. My diary is very free for me to enter items in there. So if I want to do webinars, etc., I put them in. So it's fantastic. So the next step is, I think we're looking to add more services. I've just done a really useful webinar about buying other estate agents, etc. That was very useful, about adding more revenue to our business. There's lots more to do. We have literally scratched the surface. So when we look at 160,000 in 6 weeks, there's so much more you can do. Funnels are going to be a big thing. I'm just starting to learn them. The software is amazing, and I suppose I came into this area via a funnel. I was clicked on a funnel.
You were funneled.
I was funneled indeed. And it's amazing how they're targeted. And when we talk, so as estate agents, I'm not sure if you remember, Sally, we used to do leaflet drops. We used to send 10, 20,000 leaflets out there. Yeah. And I think the return was 0.1%. You look at the waste of paper that used to be, and me as an estate agent, as a junior estate agent, I'd be slogging around the streets doing that. Now you set up a funnel, it targets exactly the people you want to target, and then, as the funnel says, it puts them in the place where you want them to be. You can then email them, you can phone them, you can follow them up. The process can take a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. Sometimes it's a bit of a longer sell, and some people are going to take 4 or 5 months before you actually make contact with them. That's the way forward. Funnels are certainly the way forward. I've learned a lot about funnels in the past 2 or 3 months.
Well, as the king of taking action, I know you are going to have a lot of fun with funnels. And I just want to pick up on one thing you were saying there, is that, there's so much more to do. And I've heard this story from yourself and so many of the people, they say this, and I just want to check with you that if you go back to the beginning, you didn't know what to do to change or to get yourself out or to evolve or any of that stuff. It feels like there's nothing you can do because you feel like you've tried everything, you've done everything, you're doing what's expected of you, and that's it. But once you enter this world of there's all these things you can try, all of a sudden people get to a place where actually I could just keep changing and evolving and doing all these things all the time. It's never going to end. Do you feel like you've got there where it's just like it's never ending?
I think as an estate agency owner, you are very narrow-minded. You're looking down this one tube almost, and that's all you should be doing, just running this estate agency. What you should be doing is marketing yourself, because there's a lot of people out there now that are marketing, and if you're not marketing yourself, you're going to be left behind. We've all seen over sort of the last 3 or 4 years where estate agents have closed down. They're the people that are not marketing themselves. So yes, there's an estate agency run, but equally there's an estate agency to expand here. We're never going to be one of the big corporates. We don't want to be one of the big corporates, but we are going to expand this estate agency by some very good marketing. And we're taking that via YouTube, by Instagram, Facebook, all those non-traditional marketing areas.
I don't know what happened and I disappeared for some reason, but I'm back. But just wanted to say, I am so looking forward to your story at Agent Rainmaker Live. It is going to be absolutely fun. And you're so spot on with marketing. And I will say this, if you're not marketing, then your competitors either are or will be very soon, and they'll be getting the market share and you won't. And is that really where you want to end up? So marketing, restructure your business, make more revenue fast, get yourself out of the business and be the business owner and focus on those things that you can do to grow the business. So Sean Porter is no longer an estate agent. He's now a social media marketer and extraordinaire and holiday goer. Should I start calling you Judith Chalmers? Does anybody know who that is? Or do you have to be The millennials were all going, who's that? Who's that?
Absolutely.
Used to be a holiday program. Judith Chalmers, she was always on holiday. So when anyone goes on holiday, we call them Judith. It's a Gen Z thing. All right, guys. So don't forget to get over and order your tickets for Agent Rainmaker Live. You're going to see Sean and all the other speakers there. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm really looking forward to your talk, Sean. It's going to be phenomenal. And thank you so much for being here today. It's been great. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your assistance and guidance. Really looking forward to live. It's when you're up on stage, this is a little bit nervous, but actually looking back on it and thinking about building a story. And it's quite nice to help people, to be honest, because I think mine's quite a traditional story where you get someone of my age that's probably been doing it a while, is quite happy, it's plodding along. But you think, well, how can this be more dynamic? What more can I do? And it just takes that little spark and you can get your passion back straight away.
And the risk of someone in business as long as you have, as I have, 32 years for me, 37 for you, we've got like the likes of Sue and people like that as well, is that you actually think, well, what could you possibly teach me? I've been doing 20, 30, whatever years. How could you possibly teach me anything new? But as you know, when you dip across the other side of the fence, there's actually so much you can do. And it's just taking that bravery to come to Agent Rainmaker Live and find out. And, 300 quid on a ticket. Oh, my God, £300. But that £300 could make you 160 grand in the next 6 weeks. You've got to take that plunge at some point. You've got to.
It's a very good point about teaching old dogs new tricks. One of my vlogs, actually, I did exactly that. So I've got 2 little Pomeranians. So I used the Pomeranians as a marketing tool. I don't think my wife was too happy, and I didn't get her permission first. And I said, listen, you can't teach this old dog new tricks, but this one you can. And it went down very well. I think if you can look at yourself and not be too serious about yourself, it works. It's worked for me. I think I'm a fairly good estate agent. I'm a very good letting agent. I thought I knew it all. And I probably do about the industry. Marketing myself, I knew nothing. So it's changed my life for much for the better.
Amazing. I can't wait to see you rock it. It's going to be amazing. Thank you so much, Sean, for joining us today. See you at Agent Rainmaker Live. Everybody else, get on and book your tickets. agentrainmaker.live. Go and book your tickets now. You have to come. It will change your life, I promise you. And we'll see you there. Thank you, Sean. Thank you.
Thank you.